I remember maybe it was 2 weeks ago. I said, I think, because we was talking about Jrue Holiday's value, I said I wouldn't be surprised if a team that thought they were relatively close to competing and being a playoff team or going further looked at Jrue and thought he was the missing piece. I put Detroit out there. I thought Detroit would be a team that think they need a point guard like Jrue Holiday, but turns out that team was the Blazers, who I think they're probably closer than I think the rest of the league thinks they are. I think they're probably looking at Jrue as someone who can help them be that play-in team next year. Whether or not that's true, I don't know, but I think that's what they're looking at.
In that scenario, Mars, how would that look though? How would Jrue be able to get them over the hump?
I think. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, you can go ahead. Finish. I just wanted to Go ahead.
I think the plan, I guess, is to push on from the defense that they showed the second half of the season, where with Tamani, with Klingon, with Deni, they were one of the best defenses in the NBA. Tamani obviously made all defense. Congratulations to him. And then you added Jrue Holiday, who, despite a regression, is still capable of being one of the best on-ball defenders in the league. And his defensive IQ is through the roof. Mm-hmm. And when you have a guy like Scoot, who I think has shown a lot of growth defensively, having a guy like Jrue Holiday, who you can learn from similar molds in terms of body type, I think you look at that and like, okay, Jrue can teach him tricks of the trade, how to use your body more effectively, how to defend without fouling, all of those things, while also being able to impact the game. Being a floor spacer, being someone who can defend at a high level, being someone who has experience, as many people here will allude to that being how important it is. I think they're looking at like, we're a team that just missed the play, and I don't know how many games shy of the play they were. 4 games shy of the play and made a really good late season surge. I think they went 500 in 2025.
They were at one point, Miles, they were 2 out of the play-in at one point.
Yeah, so like the Blazers, I think, are probably a better team than I think people give them credit for. I don't blame people for not watching Portland games. Like, you don't have to. But I think they probably think Jrue has probably pushed them into that play-in, playoff range. And I think that's cool. And then for Boston, they need offense. Anfernee Simons provides offense. Sure. Anfernee Simons is an expiring contract, unlike Jrue, who's, 3 more years or something?
Playoff, 2 more years in the playoff after 2.
Yeah, and I think they save a lot of money in this contract, and we know what the second apron does to you in terms of the tax bill. So I think it was a financial move, but also a move that made sense for them in the short term in terms of what they need next season. Does Anfernee Simons stay around long term? I don't know. If he plays really well, I doubt Boston are going to pay crazy money to keep him. Since I think they made this trade to save money, it wouldn't make sense to just give that money to Anfernee Simons. But for next year, I think he helps them get into the playoffs. And we'll see what he does from there. But I think this was a money-saving move from Boston. And I think it was a move that Portland made because they feel they're closer than I think the rest of the league or fans think they were.
Mars, I think I'm in the minority. I was gonna, even before, like when we did this over the summer and last summer when we talked about, and your eyes got basically fish big when I told you that I think Houston is a top 5 seed next year in the playoffs. Like this summer, even before they did the Jrue Holiday trade, I had the Trailblazers making the playoffs next season. I don't think they're Detroit good. I'm not going to go that far and say that they're an outright playoff team, but I thought going into this summer, I like what they're doing in Detroit. And I think that the business model in terms of how they're constructing that unit is very much like what the game is today. Like a lot of people talk about how the long ball is so prevalent. Well, you know what else is prevalent? Teams playing defense. And the way that this Portland team is constructed, Scoot got better on defense. They got an all-league defender in Kamari, right? Klingon's going to be an all-league defender. They still got to shed some. They still got to shed some dead weight, I think, with Grant. I think they still have to do that. But Sharp, I think, is going to turn into something special this offseason. I think this season was one of the few seasons that we've seen where he's been healthy. I think this team before they make this deal, I think they're a 7-8 seed, and I think that they can play their way into the playoffs before this. I think they're a playoff team this year, going into the 25-26 season. I do.
Right quick, John, chill. I'm going to ask you the question that you'll always ask me. So the Blazers were 36-46 last year.
Yes, sir.
How many more games do they win this year?
I think at minimum they could be 500. At minimum, they could be. I think that they could be a 500 team. And Ron, you know how I feel about Scoot Henderson.
500 gets them the 9th seed this year.
Right. So that's still a play-in team, and I think they can very well play they can very well play their way into the playoffs. Mm-hmm. But with that being said, Ron, you know how I feel about Scoot Henderson. I think that he's developing at the rate that they need him to develop. I think we get wrapped up a lot of times in guards, and this is for the masses too. They're at fault of this because Mars and I had this conversation. When you come in with the comparison to Russell Westbrook, that's what they expect when he's not that. From an athlete standpoint, from a get downhill standpoint, he's none of those things. However, I think he's at his best, and I've said this to you already. I think at his best, I think he's a 19-8 guy on above average efficiency with the guys that they already have, Kamara, Sharp, Klingon, and them being as good as they are defensively, and with their rotation guys. I think this Portland team is going to be a lot of trouble in the Western Conference. I think they can give Sacramento a run for their money. I think they give teams like that a run for their money when we talking about between 7 and 10.
I hate to step in and interrupt this intense yap session that you're currently watching, but I just have to inform you on all the amazing, spectacular, fabulous, endless ways to play and win over at Prize Picks. With Prize Picks, you can play daily NBA contests and test your hoop knowledge by choosing the player projections and every single stat line imaginable to make your Prize Picks and take home some nice hard-earned cash. Are you a rookie in the game? Don't even sweat it. I got the playbook for you right here. All you have to do is download Prize Picks, use promo code PANEL, and you will get $50 instantly when you play 5 here with Prize Picks. So what are you waiting for? Download Prize Picks, use promo code PANEL, and join me as we break down all of our amazing daily picks right here on the panel. Prize Picks. Run your game, control your game, win your game. It's easy, baby. It's easy.
I think Deni Avdija may have some action as an all-star next year. I mean, if you
in
look
West,
at
John, word.
Yeah, chill. Last year, post All-Star break, he was giving you 23, 10, and 5 on 64% true shooting.
That's an all-star.
Six 3-pointers a game on like 40% from 3. One of the best transition players in the league, one of the best drivers in the league, 14 and a half drives per game, shooting 54% from the field. Like, that's an all-star. Playmaking.
You told me about him, Mars. You told me about him when he was in Washington,
really good.
And it went in one end out the other. I was not paying any attention to Washington like that until they got Alex Sarr. I was paying more attention to him. Yes,
he's still young too. He's only 24.
Denny is going to be really good, man.
He got room for potential growth.
10 and 5.
And Jrue's not going to do nothing. Like he's the type of guy, and he got the type of game where Jrue Holiday is actually going to allow him to flourish with just getting more steals. Like the way he, as
Jrue
fast
Holiday's
as he is,
great cutter.
And the way he runs the way he runs the lanes and fills the lanes with Jrue Holiday getting tips and steals, kicking it out to him. He gonna be nice with Jrue. Him and Jrue, I like that. But Mars, you made a point, and I wasn't even considering this honestly. I thought this was like similar to how when Jrue went to the Blazers, when the Bucks traded him there, I thought they were just getting Jrue to flip him. But you made an interesting point. Like Portland is on the brink of maybe a couple moves or a couple of their guys getting better, or just building more chemistry and being around each other for another year. They might have some action and making some noise and getting into the playoffs. I didn't even consider that. That wasn't even in the realm of possibility for me.
They might flip him. I'm not saying that. Like if I was Portland, I mean, maybe you look at what I wouldn't buy him out. I'll say that. Like with the money Jeremy Grant's making, I don't think buying out Jrue Holiday makes any sense. But I do think that if you can look and see what the value is, maybe there is like a team that's willing to give you a young player. I don't know what that looks like. Like maybe it's a sign and trade Jonathan Kuminga type thing. Like I'm throwing something out there. I'm not saying I know what it is.
Golden State?
Like maybe that's what it is. Maybe Golden State come calling and they're like, okay, we want to have Jrue, Steph, Jimmy, and then Draymond and whatever. And then they say Jonathan Kuminga sign and trade, and you're like, oh, okay, we'll do that. But I do think that if Portland do keep Jrue, I do think that helps them. Now, being a playoff team in the West, I don't know. I think there's only 2 teams that are probably not trying to win in the West next year, and that's New Orleans and Utah. Everyone else, I'm pretty sure, is trying to win.
Utah again, Mars?
The garbage.
They're just
Ox,
not ready.
What's the plan, Ox? What are they doing in Utah? Like Portland got
I
a
don't
plan.
know.
It's clear that
I know.
I mean,
I don't know. I didn't mean to derail. My bad.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
no, you good. On Utah, I do think like we're at a point where you can't just keep tanking during Larry Markkinen's max contract forever. Like at some point, you either move him or you start trying to win.
What we doing?
But
Anyway,
so outside of them, I think everyone in the West, like Phoenix, are trying to win because they have no other choice. San Antonio, I think you're at a point where you got a healthy Wemby. You got to win, in my opinion. Not because like you're wasting Wemby's prime, but like De'Aaron, Wemby, this number 2 pick, etc. I think they're going to be trying to compete. Portland, I think we're trying to compete this year. Now it's just adding on to that. Who else is in the West? Dallas, obviously, they're trying to compete. The Kings are trying to compete. Memphis, they just got KCP in them with a healthy jaw, in theory. Golden State, obviously, trying to compete. And then everyone else, like, it goes without saying they're trying to compete. So, like, we're looking at a team, 13 teams in the West that think they have action at making the playoffs. That means 5 of them have to miss it. Like, they have to, just by how the standings work. And 3 of those teams have to miss the play-in. So, Portland could well improve this year and then still be the 11 or 12 seed. And, like, I don't know if they're going to deem that as success or not. But, like, the West is just so stacked that it's hard to project who's going to be where. But I think Jrue helps their chances of making the play-in, along with, obviously, internal development. You need Tamani to get better offensively. You need Scoot to get better all around. You need Shaden to improve his consistency as an outside shooter and become probably their go-to scorer. You need to find some way to get Jeremy Grant off the team. I don't even know if that's possible, but you got to find some way. Maybe you can move DeAndre Ayton, not because DeAndre Ayton sucks, but because does he fit the timeline? Are you going to extend him after this season? I don't know. But yeah, I think Portland's in a good spot.
Remember too, Mars. We've seen this movie before. Jrue Holiday was up in Portland, and they were able to extract Robert Williams, right? Robert Williams for him.
Malcolm Brogdon too.
Yes, Malcolm Brogdon for him. Now, if they don't decide to hold on to him, does Pat Riley revisit Portland and go, "Hey, how y'all feeling about Jrue Holiday? What would it take to?"
Then Portland will ask for Haywood Highsmith and he'll hang up the phone. So
see, that's what I'm talking about, Mark. Like, are we serious? This is what I did. This is what I mean. Because I mean, I see this is, and they would do that too. 100% he would do that. Like, how about Haywood Highsmith and Duncan Robinson and 2 tubes and goodbye? No,
Pat. No, y'all cut it out. Pat's making that move. Man. Come on.
Okay,
but my thing.
Really quick, and I want you to stay on that point, really quick. To ask for Damian Lillard, you're not serious when you say Tyler Hero ain't on the table. You're not.
Bam,
you're not serious.
Bam. No, that's serious. I don't want to. I don't. But look, Bam. It was. I think they wanted Bam. Portland really wanted Bam, and Bam was off the table. And I respect that. I'm not giving you Bam for Dame. That would have been a bad move.
Right.
I'm
Haywood Highsmith for KD a bad move.
Come on, run that.
It wasn't made.
It was Khalil Ware and everything else involved. I'm not mad at that. I'm not giving up my future for a season and a half of Kevin Durant. I'm not doing it. But I'm also not giving up Tyler Hero and Bam for Dame. My thing is, first of all, Mars, you ruined this for me because I had my mind set on Jrue to Dallas. You know, but then you come with some really good points on why Portland might want to hang on to Jrue. But chill, last time when Jrue came through, Jrue didn't even touch down to Portland. It wasn't even a layover. He didn't even land in PDX. You know what I'm saying? It was just I think he knew he wasn't suiting up. So I think that'll be figured out, sooner than later. With the whole entire contract things, I'm not exactly sure what's allowed as far as trades, like how fast you can move a guy, what you can move a guy for, and whatnot. So I'm kind of just waiting to see what happens and kind of just listening to y'all about what the rules are. But I'm still thinking about it, and I don't think Jrue pushes Portland over the edge though. Like Deni, I'm with you, John. But Denny's one of those dudes that I had to go see in person. You know what I mean? To realize because like I talk about a lot, I don't think people realize when you're watching on TV, like some of the things that you see. So I had to go check Deni out in person a couple of times. And dude is huge. Like he's big.
How big is he legit, Ox?
Chill, he's big. He's for sure 6'7", 6'8". Like he's
Damn,
big.
I didn't know he was that.
And he's like thick though. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not like a skinny.
He ain't a lean 6'7" or 6'8".
Nah, I will call him 6'7" just to be fair, just to be safe.
Sure.
But he's fast too. He's big, he's fast. You know what I mean? He's got good feet. Then he's really good. I just don't know if Jrue's the piece that'll put them over the top. You know what I mean? So if they do keep Jrue, I think to Marsh's point, you'd have to move off of Jeremy Grant. You know what I'm saying? Maybe even DeAndre Ayton just to get some more pieces in there. I just don't. And I would hate to see Jrue because Jrue's 34, 35.
He'll be 35 this season.
Yeah, I would hate to see Jrue waste time in Portland, and I think that's what it would be. And drink more water said he's more like 6'9". That's possible. Then he's big. He's
really I was
big.
gonna say he's closer to 6'9" than 6'7".
Yeah, he's big. And
I'm thinking Deni
I
Avdija
was trying to find his height.
6'5".
He's listed at 6'8" and 3/4.
Yes, he's that's what I'm saying. Chill. He's fat and his feet are moving. Chill. He's fast. Right? He's getting up there.
He does have a negative wingspan though. So
really,
yeah.
Okay.
6'8" and a half wingspan, so practically neutral, but slightly negative.
Yeah, he got short arms, but he's still really good.
Speaking of wingspans, really, I don't want to sidetrack us, but this kid, who is this kid, John D. Coward? He got like a 7'5" wingspan. What the?
Let me.
Coward?
Cedric Coward.
Yeah.
His measurements are very positive. Let me just make sure. But yeah.
7'5".
You don't got the whole draft board over there to your left with all the prospects.
You don't know.
But come on. Like Ron, you got to understand.
Act like you got
I've been doing this all year. I've been doing this all year.
And the whole profile
He's gonna type Cedric Coward. It's gonna show his measurements. It's gonna show what he averaged in high school, EYBL. It's gonna show everything.
It's gonna kick out Bill Walton facts, where his mom was born and raised.
For sure.
But
it's the player choice way. Yeah, them boys don't get it started. The player choice way. Yeah, the player choice way. Come and switch lanes into the player choice way.